Alright, lovely people, we should be live. Hello! Dim usual check takes about 20 seconds from what I am saying to show up on video, so I'll see how it sounds. Sounds good, we'll get rolling. Alright, I like it. Let's roll. Try to get my music playing. Sweet. See Ingrid's here. Hello. And yeah, all students that are tuning in here, feel free to ask questions. And Mitchell again. What up? Sounds clear? Good, thank you. Alright, so last time we were working on this cool elf lady. I think if I have my quick saves, it kind of show where we started last time. I just think it's fun to see the before and after. But yeah, she's actually going to have this really cool horse with a flaming mane and tail, and that's what I'm going to work on today. Normally I just pose her, but I want to have the horse finished. I can pose her on the horse. Alright, let's go through my quick saves. I'll probably delete some of these too, I have a lot. But yeah, this is where the elf started last time. And then this is where she ended. I'm gonna open up the file really quick. There we go. The obnoxiously bright background is so I could get a nice render with good contrast, but there we go. It's a little easier to look at. Yeah, sorry, Christina. I generally live stream exactly on time, but I'm prone to live stream up to 30 minutes early or 30 minutes late. Really just depends. The worst part is when it doesn't go straight to the live stream, it does a YouTube ad instead, and it's like super loud. Alright. But yeah, done with this lovely lady for now. I'm gonna actually give her proper boots. It depends how much of the boots show when she's writing. If not very much shows, I won't worry about it. Alright. So for the horse, I got this base from ZBuilder. Animals, it's a plugin, but I've changed a couple things. I'll see if I have that in my quick saves as well. I can kind of show you where I started. I just did a couple small adjustments because there was a couple problems with the anatomy. Alright, so this is where it started. I also just got rid of the tail pretty much entirely because I'll be making my own tail. It's pretty spot on. The only main problem is that this joint and this joint should be together. And I've noticed that a lot of base meshes that you find online, they usually have the animals kind of like a dog show. They're kind of like stacked. Their legs are kind of far apart. I like to bring them back under so it's easier to see everything. That's pretty much it. I went to lower subdivision levels. The hooves are a little funny. And then these bumps on the back shouldn't be there, but might have been a setting that I had when I had the ZBuilder open. But that's pretty much all you guys missed. I think it had color at one point too, but I removed that as well. This also has a lot more details. I've already smoothed a lot of those out because I'm going to be making my horse a lot more emaciated looking. Alright, here we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make this lower jaw a separate subtool. I've noticed it really helps me to get the shapes looking nice and to just get the control that I'm wanting. It's also nice because if I want to open the mouth later on, this will make it really easy. Okay, I hope you guys are having a lovely evening. My day has been really chill. I am very sunburned. I know you probably can't tell in the video. I have a lot of foundation on. You can kind of see it in my forehead and my hairline. Mostly masking it. I also have my the light that I have for my live streams, very blue light to try and like cancel it out. I sunburned so easily. I was at the barn yesterday, and I was only there for like 4 hours. I was in the sun for maybe like an hour of that in direct sunlight. Burned. Whatever. There we go. Have that all smoothed out. Happy with that. This is also going to help for the look that I'm going for, because I'm going to go for undead. Gonna look at a reference of a horse skull really quick. I have a second monitor over here where I pull up my references and stuff. Also, if you're looking for really good references for animals, I know searching anything taxidermy is really helpful. You can always just Google image search horse skull as well. But for taxidermy, they're usually selling a product, so they're better images. There we go. Yep. Very spooky looking. So right now, I'm just pulling any of these shapes to be flush. Like, I don't need this little divot right here. I'm not looking for like perfectly anatomically correct. I'm just looking for something that gets the job done. I'm gonna turn on Dynamesh with polish. There we go. Normally I wouldn't do that for working on a head or anything like that, but since this is gonna be a little bit more bone textured, that's gonna work really nicely. Alright, so the bottom piece for a horse's skull is actually really flat. But again, a horse's skull is so thin. If you Google it, there's a really thin like nose piece and the bottom of the jaw. If I do that perfectly correctly, it's just gonna be a pain to 3D print. You can, but like, don't breathe on it too hard, it'll crack. You know what I mean? If you don't 3D print, I'm sure you don't know what I'm talking about, but trust me, breaking a 3D print is so frustrating. Like this little notch right here is not actually there, but I think it looks spooky, so I'm gonna be taking a lot of artistic liberties here. All right. So I'm gonna go through and take all these beautiful details, my base mesh, and pretty much just destroy them. Since I want it to be bone, I don't want it to be... See how you can tell it's like a soft lip right here? I don't want any of that. I'll be using the Move Brush, Smooth, and Trim Dynamic primarily for this. I see Bruno's here. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm back to streaming finally. Pioneer Gaming is here. Hello. Swords are the death of me. I break them every time. Oh, I know. Ooh, new resin. That's exciting. I love trying new resins. It's been a while since I've 3D printed anything that wasn't just testing prints. And at this point, I don't even keep them. I used to keep all of my test prints, but I've made a lot of models. I literally had like hundreds laying around, so I just tossed them, which sounds like illegal to say, but my games are online with my friends, so we all live in different states at this point, so I was like, there's no point in holding on to these. It was a sad day, but it was nice not to have the clutter. That already looks so much spookier. I like it. Yeah, using green stuff to salvage a print can really help. You can actually just use resin as well. Put a little bit of uncured resin, stick them together, put a UV light on it. I have a little UV laser for stuff like that. It works fantastic. I taste test my resin before I use it. I don't know what the joke is. I totally 100% endorse that. Don't do that. This entire cavity is supposed to be empty if I want to be like completely anatomically correct, but I don't know. I want to avoid having that really thin nose piece. I can do something in between like that. It looks really ridiculous though. I'll find a good in between. I forgot that nose cavity goes so much higher up than I remember. I'm not sure if I'm going to add teeth. I'm leaning towards yes, because they do look really spooky. And then for the eyes, for example, they would just be a hole. But since I'm doing this a little more, or a lot more stylized, I'm going to make sure that I really keep that ridge right here. I'll probably give it really dramatic cheekbones, which also wouldn't be there. This line would be there, but not quite this prominent. And even though it has a skull head, I'm probably going to keep the ears. Already looking a lot different than when we started. You go in with move and back face mask, pretty much my favorite combo. Turn off perspective, then lift this area up right here, and then use turn dynamic to flatten it. So I know it's all going to be on the same plane. I could use a planer brush for that, but the planer brush does weird stuff that I don't want it to a lot of the time. So I only use that if I'm really desperate and it's nothing else is working. Gosh, it barely looks like a horse to me right now. Alright, I can start stylizing the eyes a little bit more now. And bring the ears a little bit more together as well. I just put like a really severe look to this. Alright, I'm happy with that overall. I am going to detail this jaw a little bit more realistically. Just gonna add this dent right here. I'll make it look better from the side or something like that. And then I'm gonna see if I want to add some little horse teeth. See what I do. Alright, so what printer do you have? I have Anycubic Mars, not Anycubic Mars, Anycubic Photon, and a Lego Mars, and an Ender. 5, I think. I have like 5 Anycubic Photons, that's what I use primarily. People have had great experiences with their Lego Mars, good for them. I hate mine. Mine never worked well. I think it was a bad printer, if that's even a thing. They're really not that complicated of machines, so I couldn't figure out why I couldn't fix it. I flashed the firmware, recanted the whole thing apart, made sure everything was tight and that the little, what is that called? The Z-axis, the Z-rod, I don't know what it's called. It just didn't work. The prints all came out really bad. I mean, they weren't that bad, but in comparison to our Photon, they were bad. That being said, by no means am I brand loyal to Anycubic Photon. I just do whatever gives me good prints. I'm happy it still looks like a horse, because like if you push this too far, it'll look like a dragon, and that's not what I'm going for. Ooh, lots of printers out there. Oh, cool. You like your cubic better, any cubic better as well. Yeah, everything I've heard is everyone just loves their Mars, and I'm like, I want to like mine. Alright, this is where the teeth go, right here. And then there's this little gap. Alright, I'm gonna put in some placeholder teeth before I get too much further. There we are. Alright, horse teeth look weird, but they shouldn't be too hard to do. I got a first-hand look at this yesterday. I was at the barn yesterday because the vet was out, and so there's a lot of things getting done. The geldings were getting sheath cleanings, a lot of the other horses getting their teeth floated. If you don't know what getting their teeth floated means, it's just dental work. So horses chew unevenly, so they'll get little hooks and spikes and waves on their teeth and make it harder for them to eat, or they'll get sores in their mouth. So they put this giant, like, it looks like the jaws of life pretty much on their head, so they can't close their mouth. They sedate them, and they take a little tooth grinder and grind their teeth down so they look nice again. So, technically I was looking at horse teeth for like an hour yesterday, so I should know what they look like, but I don't. Alright, Google, show me horse teeth. These are really cute pictures. It's showing lots of like smiling horses. I want to see the back ones. There we go. Yeah, they look weird. I guess I'll look at more of like side references, because the tops of them look so weird, and I'm just going to be showing the side of their tooth anyway. There we go. I found a good reference finally. Perfect. Let me see what you guys are talking about with printers. Oh, the Formlabs. That's a fancy one. Yeah, they're expensive to upkeep. They're cool, but hey, if you have the money, go with it. I would not recommend. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, buying a new tray. Yeah, that wouldn't sit well with me. Oh god, their auto supports work well. Because I've been doing my own supports for so long, I could just never go back. I don't trust anything other than my own supports at this point. So that's a fun thing. It's like, what did you do today? Oh, I sculpted horse teeth. You know, just a regular day at the office. Oh, I forgot to grab my my laptop charger again. I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley, and this is the computer I use for it. So, once I finish this tooth, I will go grab that. horse tooth. I did like 2, so I can just duplicate them a bunch and make them small enough. Alright, got a couple teeth in there. I'll be right back. Can you grab my charger? And I'm back. Of course, the outlet for my laptop charger is right in between my tripod that has my camera, so I'm like trying not to knock it around. Let me try and get this reset up. Scooch. This way. There we go. And we're back. I'm glad the supports are working well. All right. Gosh, their teeth go so much farther back than I expected. They actually have teeth on this bend right here too, which is really unusual. Interesting. Alright, this is the moment of truth with our scenery. I like this. I'm going to put them on top as well. If I like how that looks, then I'll keep them. I think I'm gonna like it. I just need to adjust the skull a little bit. I'm not quite done with all of the teeth yet either. Go ahead and merge these together. Mirror and welds, they're on both sides, and then stretch them out. I don't know if I need to add the little front teeth, but we'll see how it looks. Let's go back to my other references and see. Yeah, there is that big of a gap. Okay. I think think the front teeth are just going to make it look really dorky. We'll see. All right, looking good. Now let's move the skull around. I think that's why I thought about adding this little notch right here, because I was probably thinking about the teeth. That's before I thought I was going to be adding them. Once I'm done fastening with this, it probably won't be perfect, but I'll leave it where it is. I'll come back to it later after I have blocked out the mane and the tail, which is where the real fun's going to be. Or at least it's the part that I'm looking forward to the most. Yeah, that's probably going to be a really nice detail. I'll go through and make the teeth a little bit more uneven later. See? I'm gonna leave that where it's at. Not sure what I want to do with this forehead. See, I put it forward, it looks almost like dog-like. You like, how concave can I make it? It's all very sensitive. Alright, we're gonna leave that where it's at. And now blocking in the tail and the mane. I'm just gonna append a sphere, get a really low Dynamesh, and just start pulling around shapes. Got my reference for this too. since it's going to be made of fire, I'm pretty much going to take this same tail right here. Excuse me. And duplicate it, move it around, kind of idea of like where I want the flames to be and how I want them to be moving around. I think it's in this stage where a lot of people get really discouraged because they're like, oh, you know, when they're working on it, like, it doesn't look good, it looks bad. And I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to. Just play around with the shapes, find something you like, and then roll with it. Later I'll go through with the snake hook brush. Thought I had it pinned up here. I guess I don't. Where are you? There you are. I'll probably add like little licks and little, yeah, the fiery spark, fiery spots. Increase the resolution a little bit. You know what, I'm gonna dock the snake hook brush, at least for this one model, because I'm gonna be using it a lot. I will put it right here, even though it doesn't really fit. I'm a big fan of making UIs that will match your models too. Alright, added some spikes. Gonna dynamesh it. A slightly higher resolution, and then go with the move brush and kind of move shapes around. I could do the same thing for this one, or I could just delete it, duplicate this one, and mirror it. I'm gonna go through this at the end with a spiral brush too, and it's really gonna make this look cool. It's so different compared to the way that I normally make manes and tails. It looks so much messier, but it's gonna be really cool. Alright, we got a weird, spiky mess that is going to be fire. Trust me, it'll all work out. Mitchell says, speaking of dog-like, have you seen the photoshops of horses with dog-like mouths? It is horrifying. Yes, yes, I have seen that, and horrifying is the right word for that. So all the concept art I've seen of like fire horses have the mane just going straight back, and I feel no need to reinvent the wheel, so I'll probably do a similar style. I'm going to make the forelock a separate piece. I always think it makes it easier to manage. I'm also going to turn down the resolution. I'm going to try not to make it go too far back because I want to make sure when I have a rider on this, I can either put the mane to the left or the right. So it's not just like fire where the rider is supposed to be. I'm also going to be really careful to keep the curve of the neck because it's one of my favorite parts. Alright, I'm going to grab some little spikes. I'm going to dynamesh to a slightly higher resolution and then play with the shapes. Believe me, even sometimes I doubt, like, is this really going to work? Sometimes it doesn't, but this one, you can already tell it's coming together, which sometimes is a relief, because I'm not always sure. That's partly why I love sculpting so much, like for a living, because everything you sculpt is like a different challenge and think a little bit differently how you approach it. It's really fun. So I'm just duplicating that piece, kind of like how I did with the tail. I'm gonna adjust this to form it a little bit. I'm a big fan of just putting things into multiple subtools to play with them separately. It makes it a lot easier for me to experiment with different shapes. And if I don't like it, I can just delete one subtool instead of like the entire piece I was working on. If you ever forget to do that, you can always just mask the section that you like and then split that into its own piece and delete the rest. This is about the stage where I like to share screenshots and then put this next to like the final version where it looks all cool. Because right here you can kind of see it coming together, but like, there's still issues, you know what I mean? Alright, we have both pieces now. I'm going to merge everything together briefly. But I can go to auto groups right here, make them 3 separate pieces. The reason I'm merging them right now is so I can manipulate them all together. I think it's going to look cool if the main travels one way or the other. I was going to do the forelock as a separate piece, but since it's all going to be like just going straight backwards, I might just stretch this forward instead. We'll see. I might make the neck of the horse longer too, to give myself some more room. I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner at the very least to kind of just keep the shape that I'm going for. This is what I mean by like tweaking anatomy into your favor, especially with creatures. Alright, merging all these pieces down really quick. I'm gonna make this neck a little bit longer. Yeah, I'll use this. Don't want to go too far. There we go. I love about digital art so much too. It's like if you don't like it, just get rid of it later. Alright, make it spikier, longer, and then pulling the shapes around a little bit more. As you can tell, I'm really not worried about the flames getting too chaotic or out of hand, because I can just go back through and refine them later. I would rather stay in this stage for as long as I can than refine a shape I end up not really liking. So if I want, I can actually keep it all one piece for a while here, and when I go to Dynamesh, I'll click on groups, and that will keep them as separate pieces. Since it is so low res, it's having kind of a hard time keeping them separate. It's getting a little muzzy. So what I will do is, I can always just Dynamesh at a high resolution. There we go. Kind of looking like fire, kind of like a mess. It's a good in-between right now. Going in with the spiral brush is really going to help all these little details. Oh, I see Terry's here. What up? I'm glad you're popping in for a second. It's good to hear from you. I was gonna say see from you because I'm not, you know, I'm seeing text and not like hearing you. Right, whatever. All right. I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the mane, where I merged the entire tail together and move all those shapes together. There we go. She needs a sip of water. I'm like losing my voice. I think I've been talking for like 20 minutes. I don't know. I don't talk a whole lot, I guess. And the main person I talk to throughout the day is Ricky, so that would make sense. I'm actually pretty happy with the shape of the tail just the way it is, so I'm not going to mess with that too much. Gonna make the legs a little bit longer. I'm finally going to add some color. Alright. Horse is going to be black, and the main tail is going to be blue fire. I might go for more like a steel gray for the horse if the black becomes too hard to sculpt on and see. We'll see. Adding the color helps so much. Alright. I assume blue fire is the same as red, to where the closer to the center, the lighter the color gets. So I will go with like this really bright right here. Go to my paintbrush. I change it to a drag rectangle for my input. It's not quite enough contrast. Let me go for a darker blue on the tips. That way I really have a lot of room for the gradient. I'll probably make the eye sockets glow and add some flames to the back of the hawks too. There we go. I'm just gonna go with pure white. I don't normally do that, but I really want like a obnoxious contrast for this. And then later, towards the end of the model, I'll add some glow effect to the rest of the body. It'll help sell that it's fire too, as opposed to like a strange blue swirly plasma, which I mean also looks cool, but not exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to separate the main part of the body from the teeth and the jaw now that I'm happy with the proportions again. Also going to subdivide this once. It just gets rid of that low poly look. Still looks a little stretched in some areas, but that probably won't matter because I'm going to be posing this something dramatic like rearing, and I'll have to re-sculpt all these details anyway, so not too fussed about that. Here, let me start with the darkest color, then work my way lighter. Looking spooky. I gotta say, even I'm a little surprised at how much the poly paint is helping sell this. I'm losing the curve in the neck a little bit, so let me make sure that it actually exists. It does. I'll make it a little more exaggerated. This is going to look so fancy once it's done. I can see the final product in my head right now, and I'm like, oh, I just want to be there already. I'm really excited about this one. I plan to have all of the hooves on fire as well, so I'll get poly paint to match that. I keep not following my own advice. So when I'm doing gradients, what I do is I go with the darkest color first, and then I start putting in the lighter colors. I just noticed it was easier. Very nice. Still not crazy about this hoof shape. It's a little bit better. Alright, now I'm going to append another sphere and get those little bits of fire on the pasterns. I say pasterns, but I call them ankles 90% of the time because that's kind of what they are. In Slimmer, I have been doing all of this. I just create a shape that I like and just duplicate that shape. Now that I have all these little pieces, I can kind of play with the shape. I like going to the 3D gizmo and seeing what I can do. I'm a big fan of the bend arc deformer. That's something I tell my students all the time. I constantly say that phrase, like playing with your shapes. Because when you're working with digital, you really don't have any penalties for messing up, so to speak. I mean, you can totally do something that would like destroy a normal ball of clay and then just click Control Z and go back to what you had. So you might as well push it. So I'm doing that same trick where I use Dynamesh with groups. So that way I still have control over each piece. Alright, I'm happy with that. It's a little thin maybe though, so let me see if I like how it looks with a little thicker. Alright, I think I've worked on these enough. I don't want to stay in one spot for too long. So let me just duplicate and mask these. Did I say mirror? I meant mask. I said that backwards again. I'm going to duplicate and mirror them. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, I have these all merged down now. And then I'm going to adjust the colors. Starting with the darkest color first, and then working my way lighter. That's not like a strict rule of thumb. That's just something that happens to work for me, by the way. There we go. Sweet. I should probably save my work. It has been a while. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to pay more attention to the actual body of the horse, because right now it's, other than the weird head, it's pretty standard. So let's make it a little more unique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the damp sander brush. I'm going to turn on lazy mouse. That'll help me get smoother curves. I'm also going to go to my adjustments and just brighten up my canvas overall, because it is a little hard to see. Just going to darken my background. There we go, happier with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the muscle lines that are already there and just find a balance between exaggerating the muscle while making it look skinnier at the same time. Checking my references right now. All right, let's go. If there's any lines that I do that I really like I like that one but want it to be more pronounced, just press the number 1 on your keyboard after you've done it, and it will make it more exaggerated. I'm going to really exaggerate the withers here in a way that would not happen naturally on a horse. So I don't think I'm going to use a damp sander brush for this, or I might use this to block out the ribs, and I'll go with the slash brush to add a better edge. I like how it looks more. I use that for gills. Let's see. Yeah, this brush. I just think it looks more interesting. I don't know if it's more correct. I also don't care. I think it's cool. I'm going to go to the lazy mouth setting again so I can try to get some nice lines. It's still really pixelated, even though I'm at 1,000,000 points, so I might need to zero mesh this to project my details back on so I have a better, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain's trying to say display and like displayation, which is not a word. I'm looking for a word right now. An even blanket of polygons is what I'm trying to say, but there's a word for this. Whatever. So what I'm trying to show you right now is, see how like when I go to this low subdivision level, see how they're all kind of like twisted around? They're not, I want more polygons right here. I can subdivide just that one area, but it still might give the results I want. If I divide one more time, it puts me at 4,000,000 polygons, which is really more than I need. But if it's not going to punish me for it, because I'm just going to pose with Transpose Master anyway, yeah, it looks nice. As long as I keep my subdivision levels, it's fine. I definitely like that blue glow on it too. I am aware these look more like gills than they do ribs, and I just think it looks cool. I'm gonna look at a better reference to see what a skinny horse looks like, which is sad, but I want to make sure I place these ribs like somewhat accurately because I am botching the rest of the anatomy for my own aesthetic, so I might as well get this one a little right. Alright, skinny horse Google image. This is going to be sad. Yeah, it's sad, but this is for art. Alright. I should just type in skinny thoroughbred. My thoroughbred has ribs showing, and he's plenty fat. He has a hay belly and ribs showing, just how thoroughbreds are. Alright. Thank you! I'm glad you think it looks cool. It comes together really fast. Retopology. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I could not find the word. It was just gone from my entire vocabulary. Probably because what I do really isn't like proper retopology. Because I don't use it for rigging or anything like that. It's not clean retopology at all. It's just enough to get what I need to add more details. But thank you, Renders FX. I appreciate that. My goodness, horses have so many ribs. Okay, I'm not gonna add them that far back. The ribs literally start here and stretch all the way back, pretty much to their hip bone. You can see them stop about right there. If I added that many, that must be like 18 or something. If I added that many, it's gonna be too busy with detail. So, horse ribs, how many do they have? Yeah, they have 18. Occasionally 19. 8 pairs of true ribs and 10 pairs of false ribs. What's a false rib? Okay, I'll read about that later, but that was interesting. Yes, bird. Oh, you're so cute. So I always have his cage open, except for at night, I put him away. And he likes to sit on the open doors of his cage and lean out and yell at me. It's a good time. He also has some bells hanging in front of it, and he puts his entire head inside of the bell. I would love to show you guys, but I don't know how to orient my camera to show you, but I'm gonna try. Alright, I'm gonna add some ribs really quick. Divide. Rib. 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 Just gonna do that really quickly. Turn on perspective. Put on a render. I'm preparing for a break right now, because I probably should have taken a break earlier and my wrist is feeling a little tight. Also, this is a good time if you guys have questions. Now would be the perfect time to ask because I'm not going to be working for a hot second here anyway. There we go. That's a more spooky render. Okay, let's see if I can orient my camera so you guys can see him a little bit. It's far away, so I don't know how good it's going to look. There he is. There's his open cage, and there's his foot. He's holding onto his bell. I know he's very far away, but that little blue dot, that's him. Oh, he's so cute. Look at him play with his bell. Right next to it on the floor is his little travel cage. That's a bird jail that he goes into whenever he is too talkative for a live stream. I put him in that cage and set him in the living room. There's a ton of toys in there, so he's fine. Oh, he's so freaking cute. And back to me. Hello. I gotta say, the sculpt really came together. I was, as always, a little worried for a second there. I'm like, is it gonna stay looking stupid? No, it worked out. The sculpt looks so awesome. Well done. Thank you. It's just gonna get better. I am not even close to done yet. I plan to add the tack, so bridle and saddle. Not like super well structured, but just enough to get the idea. The reins are gonna be made out of chains, and then the saddle and the bridle will both have like skull motifs on them. So I'm thinking like a big skull on the center of the chest for like the center of the breastplate. Breastband. I actually don't know what that's called. Anyway. What's his name? His name is Tiki. Tiki Xerxes. I gave him a last name so I thought it sounded fancy. But honestly, I call him Burb 99% of the time. Bird and baby. That's what he responds to. Oh, and very exciting news. Last week, he said the word baby, and it was very exciting. Parakeets can talk. They don't talk as much as like parrots do, for example, but they are like in the parrot family. But yeah, he said it once, and it was really creepy because I didn't have music on. and he wasn't singing very much, and just out of nowhere was like this really garbled baby word spoken. It was really weird. If you guys haven't heard parakeets talk before, I highly recommend going to like a YouTube search and just typing in parakeets talking, because it's more clear than you would expect it to be. Like it was really creepy, but really cute. I was very excited about it. I tried to get him to talk for the next like 10 minutes. He has not spoken since. I think it was his one-time thing. He is going to be 2 years old next month. His name is Pioneer Gaming. Had a lovebird when I was a kid. Her name was Tiki. Aw, we both have good taste then. I'm not even sure why I picked the name Tiki. I just thought, I don't know, Tiki Torch. Yeah, I don't have a reason. I just thought it was a cute name. Oh my gosh, look at him go. I'll try to point this over there again. Zoop. I'm sure there's a way to zoom in with this webcam. I just don't know how to do it. Burbo, you have a little audience. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, but he has a little bell hanging right there, right here. And then there is him. And he's putting his foot on it and pulling it. It's really cute. I'm going to drink some water. Let's see, it's 7 o'clock right now. I'll probably get back to work in about 5 minutes. But if you have any questions about sculpting, art, any of that good stuff, let me know. Alright, I'll move this back over here. That's what he does for hours and hours. So if you're wondering what that little bell sounds in the background, it is him. Alright. I think we need to invest in a bird cam. I think you are correct. I'll talk to Ricky about it, because I have a lot of the screen dedicated to like my face. I feel like we can make me like half face and then put bird under me or on top, whatever. All right, I do have a question. Can you explain what the one key does to exaggerate things? Yeah, sure. I didn't do a super good job showing that, so let me do a better job. All right, I'm going to turn off. No, I'll do this. So I drew that line. I haven't moved anything. Now I'm pressing the 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'll do it from this angle so you can see it better, but you can kind of see what's going on there. All it's doing, I say exaggerate, it's just repeating the stroke that you did. Gosh, now that I drew that line right there, I want to put these lines everywhere. I'm a big fan of swirls. I don't know how much that really matched the model, but I sure like it. I think he looks fancy. I'm not even sure if I'm going to add a saddle. I'm going to do a bridle for sure, because the reins being chains I just thought was too cool. Alright, going back to a spooky render. Spooky. And like always, thank you guys for hanging out. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm starting to do most of my, like, the work that you can see quickly on live stream. I do a lot of work off camera as well, where it's like preparing the base mesh, kind of getting a plan, designing the model. I don't sketch it out, but I do write notes and stuff of like, here, I have it on Patreon. It's easier to show you guys than tell you. But yeah, I do posts like this, where I kind of explore like what kind of design changes I want to do and that kind of stuff. Oh, that's right, I'm gonna give her a spear made of fire. I completely forgot about that. That's gonna be awesome. But yeah. I did one of these for the Myconid Queen as well. This one I think looks better. It just looks, just something about it's very aesthetic. And for anyone lurking that is new, I create content on Patreon. If you want to learn, go to patreon.com. m3dm/learn, or m3dm learn altogether. That's where I teach. The ones on screen is for 3D printable models. Either way, they link to each other if you want to find one or the other. It shouldn't be too hard. All right. Next question. Art process question. I'm trying to learn Blender. I feel like it has a lot of learning obstacles to get through before the creation process can begin. Oh, I know. So I tried Blender first before, well, I tried Sculptress first. And then I was like, oh, I want a better version of Sculptress, which is Zbrush. I mean, they're so different. But anyway, same creators, all by Pixelogic. And then I was like, oh, Zbrush is $1,000 pretty much. Maybe I don't want that. So I went to Blender. And it's so dumb. Like the right click and left click are switched automatically. I think they fixed that in the most recent update. But there was just a lot of setup for everything. I didn't understand why there was, it just felt so unintuitive to me. Here, let me show you what it's like to start a sculpt in Zbrush, okay? Because it makes me annoyed. Okay. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to restore standard UI. This is pretty much what you see, just like this. This screen is what you see when you open up ZBrush. It looks just like this, except it's on project instead. So when I want to start a sculpt, I just go to one of these projects, I double click on Dynamesh Sphere, and there we go. I have a default brush selected. I can just start sculpting right away. My subtool menu is already docked on the right side. These are all my different pieces and parts. So if I want to append a cube, then I can just start doing stuff, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sure if you like spent more time with Blender, which I obviously didn't, it would be fine. But for me, I just found it super annoying. So now I'm sculpting, I'm doing stuff, bam. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like this is so much faster. I'm sure you could do the same two-step process in Blender as well. I just never got there. Back to this. And there isn't like a specific reason why I start with the sphere. It's kind of the project I double click on. You don't have to pick that one. You can start wherever, but I use that for pretty much every single project I do. There we go. Back to my custom UI. Looks much nicer. Feels like home. Bam. You are being so cute right now. Oh my goodness. He's wearing his bell as a hat. Guys, he kills me. He's so cute. Are you singing with your bell hat? Oh my gosh. Okay, my heart. And then, do you feel like ZBrush is the same, or do you feel like it will start jumping to creating a lot faster? I think that's, I might have read that earlier, but I answered your question. And then, let's see, how do you make those? Do you draw them? The lines that I was doing? I'm sorry, I'm not totally sure what you're asking, but reword your question, and then I will definitely answer. I wish there was software like ZBrush for hard surface modeling. Hard surface modeling software doesn't seem to be built for artists. Oh, my friend, you are in luck. All right, it's called Blender, first off. Hard surface modeling is better with Blender or Maya. But if you just want to make minis and cool stuff, like how I make armor, it's the ZModeler brush. It says a brush, but it's not. It's like its own program. So I have a cube right here. If I go to the brush palette and then the ZModeler brush right here, this is where it's at. If I hold spacebar over a face or a polygon, here are all the different things I can do. Masking, moving, equalize, extrude, flip faces, all the kind of stuff. So I have QMesh right now, so I can just start dragging things out. QMesh is cool because they'll snap to the next face. I can go to extrude if I want to go as far as I want. If I hold Alt, I can select like an L. I can extrude that. I can go into edges, and I have a different selection. So I can go to bevel, for example. Bam. Now I have bevel. But yeah, this is a brush. It's not. It's so crazy. It's its own like software, in my opinion. I think it's awesome. But yeah, this is what I use to make armor. And this is modeling, not sculpting. So yeah. I like ZBrush. ZBrush is my best friend. I can do whatever I want in this program. To be fair, I don't model like cars and stuff. I've seen people model like proper tanks in ZBrush before. Literally just type in ZBrush hard surface example and you'll see a bunch of really cool videos. Type in time lapse, even better to actually see it happening. Oh, Ricky is here. That's my person. Thank you, Ricky. He's in the other room. So the other side of M3DM is Ricky. Ricky does everything that I don't want to do. Like figuring out how my cameras work and setting up the streaming software and pre-processing prints, pre-supporting prints. Any graphic you guys have ever seen, anything that's not sculpting or typing a blog post is Ricky. He's great. But yeah, isn't that so cool? I'm glad I could show that to you, Mitchell. Again, I don't mean to be like a shill for Zbrush, but Zbrush. If they had an affiliate link, oh, I swear I would have made so much money off it by now. Zbrush doesn't do affiliate programs as far as I know. If they did, I would be all over that. Alright guys, let's see. So I've only been live streaming for an hour, but I think an hour is where I'm going to stop today. I'm really happy with this progress, and I feel like I'm not super inspired to like push and keep going. So I might just work on this later tonight or something. Usually my live streams are 2 hours, 1 to 2. That's the general. I think it's going to be a 1 hour as well. So if you guys have any questions, right now is the time to ask them. I'll probably be on for like 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to play Stardew because that is just in my brain right now. I don't have a live stream schedule for next week. Tomorrow I play D&D, then we go to the barn, and then I have a dentist appointment, which I'm super afraid for because I'm just terrified of the dentist because needles in my mouth. Needles in my arm, no problem. My leg, no problem. My mouth, oh my god, I'm so afraid of it, guys. I've had a lot of cavities. I'm good with my teeth. My teeth are very weak. I don't know why. At least they're straight. Whatever. My point being, I'm not sure I'm going to live stream next, but I'll post a schedule on Patreon. If you're subscribed on YouTube only, I post here as well. I don't know how you guys see that. It's not like it's on your feed, but look around for me. Whether it's Twitter, Patreon, YouTube, whatever, I will do a post when I have my next live stream schedule. Generally speaking, 6 p.m. is the time, though. Let's see. Can I get a fun material on here? Just really quick before I go, I want to grab something fun. Ah, rainbow pony. Rainbow pony of death. Okay. Ooh, I like that. It's like really hard to read and I love it. What about this? Ooh, I like that too. I love obnoxious materials. This is why Ricky does the renders, because if I did renders, again, I know it looks cool, but it's not as easy to read as like what I had before. Thank you again so much for the advice. I'm now really looking to ZBrush more. Do it! Take my classes. I want to teach you. You're obviously excited to learn. Those are my favorite kind of students. Renders FX says, what is your comfy poly count max when dealing with miniature work? Under 10 million? That's not very helpful. I generally don't go above 5, and I'm not even like trying to stay under 5. I just what ends up being. Like this one right here is 5, but that's just because I was lazy, and I just subdivided the body a bunch of times to get the detail density that I wanted. This model right here doesn't need to be more than like 200,000 points. It's just where I'm sculpting at. But yeah, I would say when I'm actually working on a model, under 1 million. And then once I'm doing like fine-tuning details and if I'm taking shortcuts just by adding subdivision levels, it might go up to 5 or 10 million points. But generally speaking, I don't go too high. The only exception to that is when it's multiple like model pieces. So this is going to have a writer on it. So when I'm posing them together, that model might be around 10 or 15 million. Assuming I didn't like pose and decimate one before adding it in. So we'll see. Good question though. I'm definitely on the thought process of like, if you can make your poly count lower, do it. It's very helpful. All right, I'm gonna stay with this obnoxious, no, where to go? Metal one, because I just, guys, it's so fancy. It's so shiny. All right, I'm gonna grab the light from the bottom and do a spooky render. Haha, spooky. Yeah, this matte cap actually isn't that bad for rendering. For sculpting, all of the shine would drive me crazy. Oh wow, thank you for your car wash sounds. Good bird. All right. And then can you link your classroom again on the Patreon? Sure. Yeah, the one that's under me right now is for like buying my models. Bam. Did I type it right? No, I didn't. Let me make sure I don't mistype this. There we go. And then for everyone else that sees it, learn ZBrush with me. It's fun. If you don't want to learn with me, for $10 you can just get my classes and stuff. But if you want me to bother you all the time and teach you directly, it's $20. Sounds like wisdom to me, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Alright guys, this was super fun. I like my spooky horse. I'm really excited this came together in an hour. I feel like that's a really good... I might link this to some of my students for help. I have someone that's working on a horse right now, and this is going to be perfect for them. Sweet. Alright guys, I will see you next time whenever that is. Just follow me somewhere. YouTube is fine, but you might have to actually go to my channel and look at the posts, because I don't think YouTube like promotes text posts as much as videos, obviously. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!